fix it.
Okay, turn it.
How's that?
Yeah. Quick fix. That is a quick fix. So usually we're live. Then what it does, it'll send an email. That email will start broadcasting everywhere else.
Okay.
So now that email just went out. So now you should start getting what you're looking for here.
Okay.
So we just need to find it. We found it last time.
Refresh the page, maybe.
Okay, we try that.
Here we go.
Okay, there it is. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah, we're cooking. Jelly bean cooking.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
All right. So we're ready now?
I think. All right.
So when that rings, so for you guys that's tuning in, we're just doing a test, doing some testing and stuff. So bear with us. Our show actually starts at 10, but we just want to make sure.
Good.
But okay, you flipped it the other way though.
Sit there for a second.
Hi.
Got two cameras going. We're trying to fix it so that
Alright.
everybody gets seen proper.
Okay. What was the reason why you wanted the camera on this side?
So that we're looking kind of in the same spot.
Oh, okay.
So our eyes are kind
Okay.
of.
Alright.
All right, so.
Back over a little
Yep. Just scooch that just a little. And then scooch this just a little. And then do that. How's that?
That's perfect.
All
Alright,
right.
so what time is it? Alright, we're on 10. Alright, we're at 10 o'clock.
What's going on there?
Oh, that's late delay on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we
Okay,
go.
gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not even sitting there yet.
Yeah.
All right, so
All
you
right.
ready to go?
We're ready to
All
start.
right.
It's 10 o'clock. So let's get the show going.
Good
You look like
morning.
you're cut off on that though. Okay, skip. See? Oh, man.
It's okay, I got it. Oh, can't do
Just
that.
pull that one over. No,
How's that?
Yeah.
And then do that.
all right. What's up, everybody?
Good morning. How's it going?
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good.
How you doing?
Good.
Good?
Good. Just got back from an excellent trip.
Welcome, everybody, to our 10 o'clock Chris and Bec TV Show, brought to you by Impact Water LLC. And our show is every Tuesday at 10 o'clock a.m. Mountain Standard Time.
That's right.
And if you're on the East Coast,
It's lunchtime.
it is lunchtime, which you're about 2 hours ahead. And if you're on the West Coast, you're about an hour behind.
Yep.
So, all right. We are here.
Yep.
Back.
We skipped a week.
We
and now
skipped
we're
a week.
back.
Yeah.
Yep, because
Yeah.
I was down in southern Colorado.
You was in South Carolina?
No, Southern Colorado.
Southern Colorado.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were around.
How was that experience?
Oh, it was so fun.
Okay.
Went there with my niece and nephew and their children.
Okay.
And so it was my husband and I, and then those two families. So we had 6 adults and 7 children under 7.
Whoa.
No. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Back it up. Back it up.
Okay. Say that again.
We had 7 children under 11.
7 children under 11.
Youngest one being 14 months.
You said you was at a
No, we
at
were
a camp or
No, we were at my family's cabin in southern Colorado.
so in a cabin.
Yeah, my uncle built this cabin back in 1963. And so it's been a place that we've gone to visit for years and years and years. And so, but some of our little ones hadn't gone yet. And so we wanted to take them to the cabin and share some of our family history, and
Wow.
it's kind of cool.
That
We
is
had fun.
cool.
We had a lot of fun.
That's
And
a
you know
lot
what?
of,
You'd think that with that many children running around, you'd be going crazy and going, "Get me out of here!"
yeah,
Not at all.
not at all.
Not at all. We did need a couple of moments to just go recharge.
Yeah.
You know, but I never felt like I got to run away or
Right.
escape. It was never like that. It was just brilliant. We had a really, really great time.
Beck,
So
that
what'd
sounds,
you do?
Beck, that sounds like a lot of eventful.
It was. It was.
Because
We built a
with
fire every night with s'mores, made s'mores.
Oh yeah, I can't beat that.
Oh my God.
I bet you guys been outside s'mores. I love doing that. That's
Oh my
campfire, right?
Oh, I have a new innovation on that, by the way.
What's that?
For making a s'more.
Okay.
So you know those, you can buy those really giant sized marshmallows. I'm doing like this, they're not that big.
Yeah.
But they're big. They're about that big.
Uh-huh.
And so I cut one in half. I bit it, actually. And then I shoved a piece of chocolate in there. And then I smushed the marshmallow around my chocolate.
Uh-huh.
And then I skewered it.
Okay.
Because we had the fork kind.
Uh-huh.
And so I skewered it. And I put that in the fire.
Whoa.
And so as my marshmallow cooked, it was melting the chocolate. And then I went squish into my graham cracker. It was the best s'more I ever ate in my life.
So the chocolate inside the marshmallow
marshmallow.
as it's melting, and then put it in the graham crackers.
Mm-hmm.
That is a
Yeah.
new way of looking at
How
that.
do you like your marshmallow? I'm just curious. We had a big debate about this when we
What
were
was the
making
debate
ours.
on?
Well, how much you cook it. Like, do you like it black? Do you like it brown? Do you like it just barely warmed up? How do you like it? Just curious.
Well, that's a great question. It's been a long time. I kind of like a nice little brown tint
Just
to
brown
it.
tint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I could eat it without being cooked. But yeah, I don't like all the black smoky
don't?
stuff. No.
Oh my gosh. So I put it in, let it catch fire, blow it out. Put it in, let it catch fire, and blow it out. Until it gets that bubbly sort of, it's almost black in some spots. If you do it right, though, it's just a dark brown.
Okay, gotcha.
So good. Anyway, we had a blast. What
We had
did
a
you
blast.
do?
We didn't do much at all. I think Sunday, okay. Sunday we went to the pool. We went to church and then we went to the pool and I just relaxed all day.
Sounds like a great day.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of being on the beach on either Florida or back when I was in Hawaii.
Hawaii is so beautiful.
So yeah, that was a big thing there. But it was just a nice chill thing. And it was good. It was just a good experience.
Awesome.
But the whole week, though, I know you was going for the whole week. For my whole week, I was just hustling, grinding, and selling the water. So
Doing
that was
business. Taking care of business.
Yeah, take care of business. But guess what?
What?
I cannot believe how time has flew by. So I'm going to do, maybe you guys could give me a suggestion, but my 1 year anniversary is coming up.
That's what you said.
Yeah, what's today's date? Today's the 6th, right?
I believe so.
So 2 more days is my anniversary.
Oh my God.
1 year anniversary.
Can you believe
Being
that?
married.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, it flew by.
Yeah.
Very quick,
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
I know you're happy because he's always smiling.
Yeah, I'm always smiling. But yeah, I'm just it's pretty stoked about
That's awesome.
I can't believe it's a year already,
It blows by really quick.
It really does.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so you need suggestions on what to do?
Yeah, you guys give me some suggestions, places or it don't have to be, I ain't no big baller, but something cute, something to do. I can surprise her with, so that'd be like you got something up there, something that, you guys been married for a while, so you got something that you.
We've been married, it'll be this October, it will be 23 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, long time.
That's a long time.
I've been married all my life. 2 marriages, both of them big chunks.
Big chunks.
Big chunks.
All right, cool. And marriage it takes a lot of work, a lot of responsibility,
Yeah, it is.
a lot of communication.
Keep it real.
Keep it real. Keep it fun.
Keep it genuine and fun. Stay engaged.
Stay engaged. Yeah, absolutely. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
You guys are gonna have fun no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
People love each other, have fun even if they're not doing anything at all.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Well, today's show is kind of an interesting one, I think. I mean, week before last was pretty crazy.
Okay, let's put a couple of plugs in real quick.
Of course.
So, if you guys have not got your coffee cups, please go on to impactwaterllc.com. Get your Chris and Bec TV Show coffee cups.
Put it up against his shirt. It's got a really cool black interior.
And then also we're going to sign it on the back of there. All the coffee cups goes out. We're signing it. Some of the proceeds will go to what organization?
St. Jude's.
St. Jude's.
Yeah.
Is that the hospital? St.
It
Jude's
is
Hospital.
for children.
Yeah. So some of the proceeds will go to that. So when you wake up and you're watching us every week, you both of us have coffee cups.
So just with a cup of coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hot chocolate is a case.
Well, me, hot chocolate.
Yeah.
With her, you drink coffee, right?
All the
Yeah.
way.
So I like my hot chocolate. What did you blend today?
Today is, so my niece bought some really neat things for me. She bought me some Torani syrups while we were in Colorado.
Torani?
Torani, I think that's how you say it. It's the syrup.
Oh, okay.
And so she bought me 3 different flavors and the pumps, just like.
So it was really cool. Like if you go to, remember the old school, you go to McDonald's, you got to get ketchup. There's like pump.
The pump thing?
So now she has a little
station.
Pump station.
Yeah.
But not as big, but more of a sleek bottle type style. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and,
so then you can measure, you get the exact amount every time.
Yeah.
And so she said she bought me the syrups, but then she said, then you get to keep the pumps. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love it. So you got raspberry and white chocolate this morning.
Raspberry,
with a splash of Italian sweet cream.
Okay. I'm fired up.
I dipped a spoon in to see if I got it hot enough. And let me tell you, it's sweet.
Yeah, I like sweet. I like chocolate. So that doesn't matter.
Yeah, he found my chocolate stash.
It's
not a stash.
I did have some.
Dark chocolate is my favorite. I can't leave it alone once I've got it.
Right.
Love it. So today's show, though, we were talking about 3D printing meat last week. And good morning, you guys. Just wanted to take a quick minute. Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Last week we were talking about 3D printed meat.
Yeah,
and that was an interesting subject.
If you missed that subject, what did we do? 2 weeks ago.
Before last.
Okay,
yeah.
Nicole, you missed that. Go to YouTube, Impact Water LLC 5353. If you missed the episode on what was it called again?
3D printed.
3D printed meat.
Yeah.
So it's a great. That was a great show.
Super, super interesting. It was kind of creepy, but really interesting nonetheless. And the science behind it is very, very interesting.
Right.
So anyway, take a look at that.
Yeah.
This week's show, however, we thought we'd take a quick minute. We're winding up for summer and going to be entering into fall before too long.
Yeah.
And it's time for us to, think about some safety issues. And so, as a former emergency medical technician, I've never got to use my skills as an EMT ever.
So you're saying you was certified.
I was certified.
But you never got to use it.
No, because in Colorado.
I'm fainting.
I know.
I need help.
Sorry, I had to pay. So the thing is in Colorado where I lived when I was going to college, you can only attend to a patient if you're a paramedic. On an ambulance.
Okay.
You have to be a paramedic. EMTs are not, you can go along and do ride-alongs and things like that, and they'll let you check vitals and stuff like that, but you will not be doing any real patient care, okay, as an EMT. So I didn't get to do any of that, but I did get all the training. So, and I'm really glad I did. So while I never got to practice as an EMT, I have used my EMT skills on numerous occasions in my life since getting that certification.
Okay.
So in a recent event, made me realize that we need to talk about this because
Okay.
it was a very serious situation that occurred recently where I was attending a function. A person passed out, or actually they were having a seizure, and they hit the pavement face
Ooh.
plant. Boom, just like a
Wow.
log that had been just down. Bam,
Yeah.
just like that,
Mhm.
face first on the pavement.
Wow.
I won't belabor you with what happened, but I will tell you that I immediately jumped into action and took care of this person because I could see that she was injured pretty severely when she hit the ground.
Mhm.
And so anyway, bleeding out of her mouth, things like that. The reason I wanted to talk about this today is because in every situation that I've come upon where there has been emergency care needed, because you're the first one on the scene, you got there before the first responders, which is going to be your paramedics, firefighters, and things like that.
Mhm.
You're just a bystander.
Mhm.
So now you come upon this scene. It's an accident. You need to attend to this person, but what do you do? What is your liability, your responsibility? What do you do?
What do you do?
I mean, it can
So
be
you're
scary.
so if there's a complete stranger and there's a crowd around, you notice what happened, or you saw, or you're coming up to it.
Yeah.
You know, in your mind, what, because you got split seconds to make decisions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess the question we're posed now is, if you're certified or not certified, what are the steps? Is that what you're kind
That's
of?
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
The first thing that I would like you folks to do if you come upon the scene of an incident is, first of all, is that scene safe for you to enter? Okay?
Okay.
Because you don't want to become a victim too. And so let's say you're at your job site and you walk into a room and you find somebody, you can see somebody's laying on the floor. Do not enter that room until you know that it's safe. Do you smell gas? Is the electricity on or off? Do you see a puddle of blood? Do you see a puddle of water? Assess your situation.
Okay.
Let's say this person is laying in a puddle of water and there's no lights on.
Okay.
They could have feasibly stepped in a puddle of water and been electrocuted because of some sort of something that they were doing. And if you go touch that person, guess what?
You're electrocuted as well.
Yes.
If they're still in that water.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, that's an extreme situation.
Right.
But you always have to assess your situation when you arrive. So, is the scene safe? First question.
Okay.
Can I do this without becoming a victim myself?
Okay.
Secondly, what's happening here? What happened? I don't see any blood. There hasn't been a car accident. There's no ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this person on the floor?
Gotcha.
Okay. So again, first thing you're going to do is is the scene safe? Now it is. So now you can approach. Now, what is your responsibility as a good Samaritan to that person?
Mm-hmm.
Zero.
Zero?
Zero responsibility.
Like zero.
Like zero. You could literally observe this situation happen and walk away and
Okay.
have no responsibility.
Okay.
Now, if you're a medical person and you're a nurse, doctor, that may be a different situation. I'm not going to go into legalities of that.
Okay.
But there's an implied obligation for people in the
Based
medical
off
field.
of your background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I read was, however, that a doctor decided they were not going to attend to a patient, even though that person was the only person available to attend to that victim or patient. The patient died.
Oh.
The state in which that this occurred, that doctor was not held liable because he didn't cause that accident. He didn't cause that person to be in that situation. His obligation is just as a human being. He did not have an obligation to that patient.
I noticed what.
And so what you're going to have to do is you need to understand what your obligation is for your state.
Thanks for fixing that.
Sure, no worries. And so in Idaho, as an example, we wouldn't have to attend to a patient if we didn't want to, or a victim.
Is that being certified?
Is it or a situation, and you are okay with attending to that patient or that victim? You feel perfectly comfortable taking care of them, and so you do. What's going to happen to you if something happens to that person that you just attended to?
All right, so we're going to make an adjustment on the camera there. on the. So let's ask you guys the question, Nicole and Marsha. That's on here. Just slide. See what it slide. And the question is posed to you: if someone is laying there, what do you think you guys' instinct should do? You tap on that the
Tap
frame.
on the red.
Yeah, no, that's the frame. On one of our.
We've locked up on our YouTube.
Yeah. The slides. See what slides? No. Okay.
Should this side maybe?
All right. Let's see what the X does.
I mean, what would you do if you walked in on a scene, or have you been in that situation? And if so, what did you do?
Sorry about that.
Okay. I think we're all good now.
We had camera issues.
Yeah.
Trust me. One day we're going to have a production that we ain't got to get up and touch the screen
Right?
if it goes out.
We need to have a person back there.
You have a person back there.
To do that.
So apologize for that. But
it's live.
But all right, you was asking the audience, hey DeAndrea, you was asking the audience a question.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you would do if you were in that situation. Would you attend? So we're going to define what you should and shouldn't do. Okay. And then we'll talk about where maybe that you got off track. Okay. So let's say you walk into a scene, you see someone on the floor, you've assessed that the scene is safe. So now you're going to walk over and you're going to try to attend to this person. The first things you're going to want to know about this patient is, are they breathing?
Okay.
They have to be breathing. That's your primary issue. And are they breathing? If you're alone, do not start attending to this person. Immediately go to a phone and call 911, or call out to a fellow employee or a friend or whoever's close by. Call 911 and then report back to me that you called 911. Let me know that they're on the way. Okay. Now, if you're alone, however, then it's going to be all on you. So you go call 911. And if you've got your mobile, it would be best to have your mobile close by on speaker. So call them.
Okay.
Let them know you've got a situation. They're going to be asking you questions. You can tell them male, female, approximate age, are they breathing? And then they'll guide you along the way while you're on the phone. Now, let's say you're not near a phone. You don't have your phone.
You're not near a phone. Okay.
And so now I've got this same patient. What do I do? Okay, scene is safe. I'm going to go take care of this patient. Patient is breathing. If the patient is breathing, they have a pulse. Okay, so we can be pretty assured at that point that in that regard, everything is fine. But why is this person on the floor?
Okay.
Look for medical bracelets. You know, a lot of people that have medical issues, such as a diabetic,
right, they do,
or if they have allergies.
Well, but nowadays they're having a chip put inside of them.
Well, that's for medical care. That's for like once you're admitted into the hospital, they can sort of scan and know.
Okay.
But you know,
typically they have a bracelet.
Typically for all the rest of us, though, to know, they would wear a bracelet or they have something in their wallet, and so you can look around and look for that stuff. If their purse is there, you don't want to go rummaging through their purse.
True.
But you might see some sort of a tag hanging off their purse that says, I'm a diabetic, or I'm allergic to peanuts, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So you want to check for that. If you don't see any allergy bracelets or anything like that, they're breathing. You don't see anything that's out of the ordinary. They're just simply unconscious. There is no emergency really. So, but we need to get emergency care to this person because they are unconscious. Okay. All right. Now let's say that you don't feel a pulse. You don't hear breathing. what do you, because you can listen for breathing. You can watch for the rise and fall of the chest if they're breathing.
Right.
You can check their pulse by looking in their neck. Right here, it's the carotid artery. It's right next to, you just put your fingers there, you can feel it. So if you don't know where
but you got to use these two, right?
Yes.
I learned that from Mom. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't use your thumb.
Yeah,
Your thumb has a pulse.
Right.
So you have to use these, and you're going to go right in this groove of the neck, and you can feel it here. Sometimes on the wrist, especially if someone has weight on them, it might be a challenge to feel that.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you can find it here. You can also see it sometimes pulsing in there.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got a pulse, but breathing's not happening. What do? Well, this is a tricky question because, excuse me, rescue breathing, you don't do rescue breathing with CPR anymore. Well, we've got a pulse. Okay, but they're not breathing. So this might mean that they've got something stuck in their throat.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you just said rescue breathing.
Yeah, so rescue breathing is when you provide breath to someone who is not breathing.
Not breathing, okay.
And so now when you do CPR on someone, you don't do the breathing part. You only do the chest compressions.
Why don't they want the breathing part?
I don't know. They say that if you keep the blood flowing, you're going to be providing enough oxygen.
Okay.
So check your local area and see what yours are, but that was the latest word that I heard.
Okay.
Maybe it's changed since. So don't go by my word. I'm not a doctor, guys. But I'm just saying this is one of the steps that you can take, though. So if you need to provide breath to this person, that's where the tricky part is because we've got communicable diseases. Okay? So that I'm going to leave to you, whether you decide to do that or not. If you happen to have a rescue breather mask on you or in the first aid kit close by, grab it. Okay? If you need to do rescue breathing on somebody, I'm not going to do the steps on that because it's too critical that you do it right. But I will tell you the most important thing is to make sure that the mouth and jaw is completely open and that their chin is up and out, the jaw is up and out. And so I would grab, as an example, I would take his head, shift it back, making sure that his jaw is forward and not sunk back. And then I would apply rescue breathing. You want them, but you got to look for obstacles in their mouth first.
Okay. So
you might be choking.
A scan through.
No, don't do a finger poke. Yeah.
Oh, you don't? Okay, go ahead.
No, but you can open their mouth and see if you see something.
So a visual check.
Yeah. If you try to give a breath, excuse me.
You want to take some water in there? All right. So what do you guys think so far of what we're saying? So this is some good information. We're talking about today about just doing an emergency response to a situation, even a loved one at home, or just someone out and about. You at the Walmart shopping. Everybody's at Walmart shopping center.
Right.
You got Walmart shopping center. Someone falls out. What would you do? So we're just going over some different highlights, some tips of how to address. And to recap, you talked about you got to survey the area, what is going on, right?
Right.
And then second, you talked about why is this person like this? What happened? What caused this person to be falling down or in this situation? You assess that. And then
911.
And then you call 911. Third, once you assess all those, call 911 and explain what's happening, what's going on, and then you're checking for the breathing,
right?
And you're checking if anything inside their mouth, visual check.
Yep.
So there's those things. So the biggest thing that I'm gathering so far is not to panic.
Don't panic.
If you see someone there, is stay calm as possible and do diligently check all these safety measures.
Right. Yep. And so the breathing is the most critical part. And so you can provide rescue breathing only if you're comfortable doing that. At this point, you should have already called 911. So you're on the hook for just a little bit of time here. Generally speaking, they're going to be there within 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So let's say you do need to provide chest compressions.
Okay.
Because you don't feel a pulse.
Okay.
Now, again, this requires training. So I don't want to go into that. So I'm going to ask you guys to do the deeper dive and possibly consider taking first responder training.
Okay.
Or Good Samaritan training. And you can do that through the Red Cross.
Okay.
They'll teach you how to do CPR and all of that good stuff.
Okay.
But sometimes you just don't have that skill set on board. And so that's where we're at. I'm talking to the regular person who just happens to come up on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if someone is bleeding, again, now we're talking body fluids, and this could be a danger to you. And so if you don't have gloves to put on, now you're going in knowing that this could be a problem.
Okay.
Just go in aware and know that your obligation is not to touch that person if you don't feel comfortable doing so.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But if you are, and you know that the situation is dire because there's no one else there but you can clearly see this person is bleeding, what you're going to do is you're going to apply pressure to that wound.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hold pressure on that wound until 911 arrives. Again, you should have already called 911. You've already assessed the scene as safe.
Right.
You already see there's a major problem.
Right.
Do not attempt to care for that patient until you have called 911.
Right.
Because otherwise, once you start care, folks, you can't stop until the EMS arrives.
Okay.
Now you're on the hook. And that's why I say, make sure that you're comfortable doing what you're doing, because once you begin, you cannot stop.
Can't stop. Okay.
So if you're providing CPR,
do you think 911, the caller, is going to stay on the phone with you while you're going through these processes?
Yes, because you can put them on speaker and set your phone down, and they will tell you, well, what's going on? What is the age? Is a female, male? Are they breathing? They can walk you through some of these critical steps if it is a critical situation.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you felt the need to call 911, then I'm going to say it's probably a critical situation. Right? Most of us can deal with a burn or a scrape or that sort of a thing.
Right.
But when we're talking about a patient that's unconscious, that's a different thing. Or someone's having a seizure,
right,
that's a different thing. The main goal here is make sure the airway is open.
Do me a favor, Bec. On the seizure side, there's different ways. I thought I heard that when someone is having a seizure and they're convulsing on the ground, do you lay them on the back? You lay them on the side? I thought I heard something on that.
Now, in the situation that I was in, I generally do not move the patient unless I absolutely have to. If they're in impending danger because they're laying on a railroad track or in the middle of a road or the car's about to catch fire, then you move the patient to safety. But otherwise, you try not to move the patient. Now, in the case of a seizure, your main goal here is do not shove things in their mouth. You know, a lot of people immediately want to start shoving things in their mouth to prevent them from cracking teeth. I get that, but what if you cause them to start choking on their own tongue because you put something in their mouth? So don't put anything in their mouth. You want to make sure that they're in a comfortable position, their airway remains open. Generally, they're just going to start tightening up and seizing. Let them be. Protect their head so that if they're flailing around, they don't clank their head on the floor. But other than that, guard them. Make sure they're as comfortable as you can make them while they're seizing. Tell them that they're okay. Speak softly. Stay very calm. They can hear you. They won't remember it, but at the time they can hear you. So just stay very calm. Keep them calm and help them through that seizure. They generally don't last that long.
Gotcha.
So your main goal as a caretaker for that or giver is to make sure they don't bang their head on the floor. And that their airway stays open,
Usually seizures, they go through what, a minute, 2 minutes, somewhere?
It depends. A grand mal can last a little bit. The one that I was dealing with the other day, I would say was on the grand mal scale.
So the way we got to this topic tonight is Bec experienced something where someone was going through, so that person had a seizure.
They had a seizure.
So she was going through a process, someone was having a seizure, and so now we're doing a show dedicating to how you respond to someone that's going through a critical
situation.
So, all right.
And the reason I wanted to talk about this today more than anything is, like I said, in every situation I've come upon that's been an emergency, for whatever reason, people want to get these folks up on their feet. Get them up, sit them up, stand them up, or give them a drink of water. Those are two things you do not want to do.
Okay.
Do not move that patient. Do not offer them a drink of water. In this particular case, someone was offering a drink of water, but they were sputtering blood out of their mouth.
Oh.
So my goal was I did roll this person onto their side,
Okay.
because they were gurgling blood.
Okay.
And I wanted it all to come out their mouth and nose, and I didn't want them to aspirate. So I did roll him while holding her head like this. I had her head in one hand and her body in the other, and I rolled her over onto her side, and I just held her like that until some people could put a backpack underneath her head.
Okay.
And now I'm still holding her jawline open, though, because I want to make sure her airway stays open and slanted to the front, so it all runs out gravity to the front.
Gotcha.
So we just stayed like that until paramedics arrived. And I didn't stop caring for this person until I saw a black shiny shoe standing next to me and said, "We'll take it from here." And that's when you can just get up and go about your business, because now you've got professionals there to do their job.
Okay.
But the main message is like, I saw an older man fall down in the post office one time. He was really old, and he hit the ground fairly hard. Well, at that age, you could break a hip. He could have cracked an elbow. There's many things he could have had. He could have cracked ribs just from that fall.
That's true.
People immediately wanted to get him to stand up, and I'm like, "Don't touch him." So I go over there and first start asking him questions. What is his level of consciousness? Is he even with us right now?
Okay.
And that sort of thing. Are you all right? You ask questions of your patient. If they start to get up, even ask them to sit still for just a moment until you can make sure that everything is okay. So don't move the patient if you don't have to. And ask them to also remain still until you know that they're actually okay to get up and move.
Right. That's
especially in your scene of an accident.
So that's a great analogy. So let's say you're at the post office, right? And you see someone fall, right? And it could be an older, a seasoned person that fell. And like you mentioned, they could have broke a hip bone or elbow, anything. Now, being a good Samaritan and you're trying to aid in that scenario, and if you move them, could you be held liable for if you cause any extra injury to that person?
That's a very, very good question. As a good Samaritan, because you're not a skilled medical professional, you didn't cause the injury, so you have no obligation. We've already established that. Excuse me.
Can you get some water?
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, guys. Came back from Colorado with a little bit of some allergy stuff.
Congested a little bit there.
But let's say, because you're not a medical professional and you did offer assistance to this person, and let's say, for instance, what would be a good example? Let's say they did have, in fact, a broken leg.
Okay.
And you said, "Well, stand up, let's go walk over here and sit down."
Right.
If their femur is broken, then we've got bones kind of loosey-goosey. That could cause some problems. It actually could cause some severe bleeding.
Right.
And cause that patient or victim some problems later. They're not going to hold you responsible because you did the best you could with what you had on board with your skill set and knowledge.
Okay.
You were simply trying to help that person. Okay? But the same thing, if you walk away, you're not under any obligation either.
Now, is that on each state? So it depends on what state you're in, right?
Yeah.
Because some laws govern different versus another state. Yeah. So you got to definitely be aware of it.
So check your state for your own.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing is if you're a licensed person, and you could either engage or not engage, I think it's more critical to check your state law for that.
Correct.
In that capacity.
Yeah, really. That's really the bigger one.
Yeah.
As a good Samaritan, like as an example, one of the ones I read, this fellow was with a person that overdosed on morphine.
Okay.
the person that was with the overdose person did not offer care
Okay.
to that person. I don't think they even called 911.
Mm.
And so, but this person was not held liable because that person did not cause this other person's injury.
Okay.
They did it to themselves.
Okay.
And so his liability was
Gotcha.
just like that doctor
Right.
I just mentioned earlier. So I guess my fear is not so much that you guys are going to help somebody that needs, that you're going to get sued for helping somebody that needs help. My fear is that you're going to try to move that patient before you should.
Okay.
That's my biggest message today.
Okay.
Is
So
that
basically,
overwhelming desire or need. I need to pick them up and carry them off somewhere.
okay.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
So you're okay. So we're trying to, once again, we're just bringing highlight to each subject matter that we bring on this platform. So is this something to think about? Something to do a little research for you on in your area, your local state.
Yes.
So I guess what I'm gathering from you is when someone is injured or laying out is don't move them,
Don't move them unless
and
you
then
have
you
to.
also want to assess the situation, assess the environment, what is happening. The biggest thing is to make sure you're safe engaging into that scenario. Just like the airplane, you on the airplane, they talk about if something happens, emergency, you put the mask on first and then help someone else. So make sure you're taken care of first, that you're good, they're able to help someone. If both of you guys or a group is in a situation, make sure you're covered first and then engage in the people that needs help.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, unless they're on the railroad track or something, don't move them. Try to keep them still. Make sure you're on the phone with 911. You do your part as a good Samaritan, and I think that'd be effective.
Yeah. Getting that 911 call immediately is your best friend, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, another situation was I saw a little boy get hit by a car. He was on his bicycle, and he barely got tapped, but still it knocked him off and tossed him not into the roadway, but onto the sidewalk. He was in the street.
Okay.
I was coming home from a wedding, and I saw this happen. And I saw people immediately gather. I said, stop the car. And I started booking down the sidewalk in my heels and my wedding outfit. And I'm telling you, people are so funny. They immediately want to get this little guy up and on his feet. And I'm like, don't touch him.
Right. Okay.
So see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's been every situation that I've been in. That's the first thing they want to do.
Just get them up on their feet.
Get them up.
Okay.
Don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that because sometimes, I know in school, you're playing, you might got bumped by another, run into somebody, and your wind is out. So you don't want to get up too quick because you'd be lightheaded and dizzy, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of want to regroup. It's like, even jumping out the bed, you jump right out of bed, you might get lightheaded because you're laying flat, your blood is at a different level.
Yep.
So you definitely want to, assess the situation and not to raise them up too quick. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
All right, cool.
Now that we're coming out of the summer months and getting closer to fall, one of the things that might come up would be to care for somebody that might have heat exhaustion.
Oh, yeah.
And so you guys maybe look into what to do for that. You don't want to put them in an ice cold tub of water, but you do want to get them into some shade.
Okay.
And you can drape them with wet cloths.
Wet cloth.
No ice though. That'll make them shock out. So just
wet cloth.
wet cloths and just in the shade.
Okay.
Water. Okay. They'll slowly start to recover. Okay. So I just want to mention that one because that was fairly common.
And, you're absolutely right. The summer months are hot, and so we've talked many times of staying hydrated. That's drinking a lot of water and just keeping your body fresh because our body is 70%, 60
to 80% water.
Yeah, so your body needs water on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So now the summer months are here. You got to keep yourself hydrated, lots of water. And drinking pop is not the solution to being outside
No.
to keep your body regulated. No, you need water.
You need the electrolytes in the water.
Yeah, so.
Speaking of electrolytes.
Speaking of electrolytes, let's do a real quick interjection.
Seems like a good segue
right.
to me.
So today's program is sponsored by Impact Water LLC. Impact Water is a pure mountain spring water loaded with electrolytes, alkaline balance. Comes in a 16-ounce aluminum bottle, 100% recyclable, 100% reusable. And you can find this particular water on impactwaterllc.com. Comes to you in a 24-pack. All right.
Doesn't it come from the Appalachians?
And it comes from the Appalachian Mountains.
I love that.
And it's fantastic water.
It really
if
is.
you have not had it yet, definitely go out
It's great
and subscribe to this and get this to your door. It comes in a 24-pack. It's shipped right to your door. So
my husband and I were talking about you, as a matter of fact, on vacation. We were thinking that Impact Water should be at the Four Corners area.
Yeah.
They didn't have any water there.
They have no water? See, yeah. You got to have water.
They'd be all over
Yeah,
that water.
so the electrolytes, because your body, as you're sweating, you're losing so much of your electrolytes and minerals, all that's coming out of your body. Yeah. And you need a good source to fill that back in.
And we talked about how important those electrolytes are.
Yeah, we've done.
The hydration part's part of it, but the electrolytes are critical.
Critical.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so drink away. It's
drink a lot of water.
So we're going to go through some first aid steps, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure. Let me hear it.
The first one is, like we said, we're just basically going to go over what we've just talked about. The first thing we do is check to make sure the scene is safe.
Okay.
You don't want to die from inhaling chemicals. You don't want to step in a puddle and get electrocuted. Lots of things can happen, so make sure your scene is safe. As soon as you see that something is going on, you're going to ask for someone to call 911.
Okay.
Yell out as loud as you can.
Call 911. Call 911.
So what? And then tell me when you've done that. Come back and tell me that, so I know that they've been called.
Right.
If you don't have anyone around, you're going to be the caller. Don't touch the patient. Go call 911 or get your cell phone, call 911, then you go. Okay. Right. If the person appears unresponsive, you can check for breathing, and you also want to check for bleeding or life-threatening conditions, such as if they're bleeding out and stuff like that. Yeah. You want to check the pulse and make sure they've got a pulse. If they're breathing, remember, they've got a pulse.
They got a pulse. Okay. So they're breathing, got a pulse.
They've got a pulse. You may have a pulse, but not breathing, though, because they could be choking.
Oh, okay.
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 All right. If the person does not respond, but is fully awake, they might be gasping, showing you that they're choking. If someone's choking, oftentimes they'll reach up like, you'll know that they're choking. Okay. But sometimes they've already lost their wits and don't know, so you'll have to assess that yourself. Okay. Again, we're going to make sure that 911's been called. You're going to check to see how awake are they. And so you're going to try to interview them as well as the people that are around, if there are any people around. So your bystanders is an example. In this situation that I was in recently, there were at least 20 people standing around. There was no bystanders to interview. We all saw it. Okay. And so, but if you're the one that arrived, other people are already there, what happened? You can get some information from them. Ask questions about signs and symptoms, allergies, medications, or medical conditions. And that's where you're going to be looking for that medical bracelet, perhaps, see if they've got that. Do not ask the person to move if you suspect there's been a head, neck, or spinal injury. Do not ask the person to move any area of the body that may cause discomfort or pain. Stay focused and based on what the person told you and how the person is acting and what you see. Right.
So this is like a checklist, and this was the first aid? Is that what you're saying?
This is what you're going to do as a person, trying to assess, well, what do I need to do? I mean, you don't know until you actually sort of scan the situation.
So, audience, have you guys experienced anything like this? Have you came across someone that collapsed in front of you, or a family member collapsing or something like? What was going through your mind, your process to what to do, So all we're doing, for the ones that's joining in, we're talking about being a good Samaritan. If someone has emergency
Yeah.
response. If someone's collapsed or something, how do you handle it? How do you address it? So that's what we're talking about
Right.
today. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. If you guys have you've been through that, make a message and we can read about it
Yeah.
together and
We'll
tell
talk
us
about it.
yeah, tell us the story on that.
Yeah.
All right, what else?
And so let's see. Can also, so you want to give, like if they have an AED certification person there and you know this person's possibly having a heart issue or their heart, there's no pulse, then of course you can administer that. There's instructions inside those cases and it'll tell you what to do. And hopefully you've got 911 on the phone and they'll be also walking you through those steps as well. But if they're not, be assured and don't hesitate to use it if you need it, because it does come, all of them, if they're checked properly anyway, tell you step by step what to do. And most of the time it's not even a reading thing, it's telling you via a little thing, little speaker thing.
Gotcha.
All right. So again, like we were saying, you want to apply pressure to any wounds that you find that are bleeding.
Now, when you say apply pressure, is that using your hands or you find something to close up
Clean cloth would be preferred. You don't want to touch any blood if you can avoid it.
Okay. So,
But
a lot of times, what I see on the movie is they like try to, if you are bleeding, they try to tie it off.
No.
That is a no.
That's a no.
Okay, explain that.
So the reason you don't want to do that is because while they're bleeding out through that hole, they're still getting blood to the end of that leg or to that arm or whatever. And so if you put a tourniquet on there, now you cut the wound off, yes, but you've also cut blood circulation to the rest of the extremity or the rest of the body or whatever. So if you apply pressure.
Okay, so direct pressure to
on the wound.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if it's a gunshot, guys, we've got two wounds, one front, one in back.
Okay.
So you got to check both. It might be just one, in which case you'll just pack that one. If it's two, you're going to take two and you're going to apply. So you can make a ball of fabric, if they're on their back, make a ball of fabric and shove it under that exit wound or wherever. And then you put pressure on the entry wound. Okay. I mean, a lot of it is common sense, okay? But I don't want you guys doing invasive things. Even as an EMT, I was not trained to do invasive things. But these are things that you can do. I mean, if your child gets cut, what do? You apply pressure. Okay. We're only talking about a bigger scale if there's an emergency, maybe. So applying pressure is your ticket for that until EMS arrives, and then they'll take care of it. Okay. Do not provide food and water. Okay. No, that's taboo. So let's say, as an example, you find someone on the floor and they're breathing, they've got a pulse, everything seems normal, but for some reason they're unconscious. You don't find a knock on their head, no contusions, nothing. What's going on? Smell their breath, lean in, see if you can smell their breath. Okay. If their breath smells like juicy fruit gum, they're having a diabetic issue. And so you need to get EMS on site immediately. Okay. Okay. Now, if you know somebody's a diabetic too, there's another thing that you can do is you can take a couple drops of sugar water and put it just between their cheek and their gum. Okay. There's someone. Somebody asking a question? Someone wants to join, I think. Who wants to join? You want to join? Yeah. All right. Let's join. In. I think maybe we have a doctor or a paramedic or somebody that wants to talk with us. That'd be amazing. Let's see. Invite. I don't know. I thought I saw someone wants to join in, but anyway. Okay. So what you were saying? All right. So we were just talking about if you find someone that's bleeding, you're going to apply pressure to the wound, and do not remove pressure until EMS arrives. Okay. Care for the spinal column and head. Don't move the person though. When I say care for the spinal column and head, if they're on their side, you can try to lift. You want their spinal cord and neck to be straight. Okay. If their head's all warped off to the side, gently hold their neck and spinal cord at the same time and try to get something underneath their head. So you can stabilize, but I would prefer you just not. So, but to get that
level, they got to be on their side to get that, right?
Yeah, so you
Okay.
can maybe put something under their head.
Yeah.
Best thing to do is just to stabilize them and make sure they don't move further until someone arrives, because you don't know if they've injured their spinal cord or not.
Okay.
If you see a knock on their head, they probably just slumped to the floor and clanked onto the ground.
Okay.
Probably didn't hurt their neck. But in a
Gotcha.
car accident, though, there's a good chance they maybe hurt their neck. And
Oh,
so
okay.
that's where you have to have extreme care
Right.
with that. But keeping their head and spinal cord straight is the optimal goal if you can, without moving the patient too much.
Gotcha.
So the reason I asked about the water is because if someone has sustained an internal injury, and the reason I said no food or water is because if they're diabetic, you don't know what you should be giving them. That's one. But let's say they've had an internal injury and it happens to have affected their stomach or their guts. If you give them water, now we've got excess stuff going into the system. Don't need that. What if it's a hole in their throat, or you just don't know?
Gotcha.
No food or water is necessary in any emergency situation unless it's a diabetic and you know they're a diabetic and you can give them a little bit of sugar water. Otherwise, don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay.
Okay. All right, and I already talked about the cheek and gums with a small sugar water. And that's the end. That's all I have as far as how you should be caring for anybody that you arrive upon that it's a simple injury as far as you know. You can provide care to the level that you're comfortable with, but I'd say don't bite off more than you can chew, because once you're in, you're in.
You're in all the way. It's so to do a recap. Today's show is about emergency response. Like, so if you happen to be in a gas station, be in a post office, be at a store, someone collapse, what is your responsibility? Should you engage, not engage? The biggest thing is assess the area. Second biggest thing is call 911, all right? So you have done your part as a good Samaritan. Once you call 911, as you're saying, you can either engage more with the client or the patient or not. So it's just, you have to know your comfortability in what's happening.
Yeah.
You mentioned if that person is a puddle of water, could be electricity around. So you really have to assess your situation to make sure you're going to be safe in that area as well.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So in the electrocution situation that we were talking about, or the potential of, if you walk in on that situation, lights are on, you see a puddle of water, you need to cut the power before you touch that patient.
Okay, yeah, main power.
Yep.
So that was
did
good.
you have any other, have you ever been in a situation where you needed to?
Yeah, I was trying to reflect back if I've been in, but I don't think I've ever been in a major situation like that where 911 had to be called.
Yeah. I had another one where it was in my dentist office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just sitting there waiting for my turn to go in, and a patient had just come out and was, sitting there, I think, waiting for their ride or something. And, la la la, I'm looking at my magazine, and all of a sudden I see this person go, plunk, onto the floor.
Coming out of the dentist.
They were sitting on the sofa, but they kind of leaned forward and then went clank onto the floor. Now, this was a tile floor.
Oh, you know what? Go ahead. I do have something.
No, share away.
So usually I fly a lot, and so I was coming back from, I think it was Palm Springs, Florida. No, Palm Springs in California. I had a show I had to do out there. So on the way back, the plane, this man, I was sitting in my chair. We was already in altitude flying, and this man lumped over, literally, right? So now the people, so they have some, the stewardesses on the plane, they had them flat. They had to find someone that knows, something about medical care. And so this person they had to put a mask over with
Oxygen.
the oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, what I had to do. So since the patient was laying right in front, next to my seat, I had to literally be with him, hold his hands, and just encourage him. You're gonna be all right. And this is on the plane, you know. So I think either I was holding the breathing thing, or I forgot what I was holding something that told me to hold something. So I had to engage in that scenario. And it is a split second.
Yeah.
And, you know, so next thing I know, I'm like, there's a body just laying next to me on the plane, next to my seat. And I literally have to get out of my seat to encourage this person. You're going to be all right. You're going to be good. So I was talking to him, you know, and he's laying out and he's like coming in and out of consciousness. And so it was a very for real experience, and everything happens so quick,
really quick,
and you have to be calm. And the stewardess and the people that know about medical was very calm. Everybody's moving good, so they had to divert the plane instead of going to Ohio. We had to end up landing in Texas, in Texas, and so stuff like this happens.
It does.
So you have to know your yourself
level of comfort. Yeah.
Comfort. Either there's blood or someone's passing out. How do you engage in that? You know. So I felt good. I felt I was able to help and encourage the guy to stay alert, keeping him alert. And it's weird because the body was like, he stopped breathing and the body shook a little bit. So I was like, oh shoot. So I don't know. There was something that like, I don't know if I moved, I pushed him or not pushed him, but like tapped him.
It's like, hey, you okay?
You know, and then he back again, alert. So I got to talk to him. You're gonna be all right. That was a experience. I'm surprised it is not clicked into my head that I went through that.
That is, that
yeah,
can be
so
kind of
that,
traumatizing.
yeah.
And you know, oftentimes the medical professional people are actually geared to help if you have been in a situation like that, by the way.
Yeah.
There is PTSD that can be associated with it. I know when I've gone, like this most recent one as an example, because I was up to my mid-wrist, I had blood gloves on. By the time I was done, I had no protection on. So at first I was like, ew, and then second it was like, ah.
Right, yeah.
You know, but when you're in the moment, you do what you do, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, the biggest message too is like what Chris just said. A lot of your care that you're going to be providing a person is calm. Keep calm. And this is what I was telling this person I was working with the whole time was, you're going to be okay. I've got you. You're fine. Don't worry. You're going to be just fine.
Right.
Yeah, I've got you. You know, so letting them know they're not alone. I've got you. You're safe.
Yeah.
You know, these are things that people need to hear.
Right. Absolutely.
And so when that was a beautiful thing. You did exactly. That's a big part of your care is just keeping your patient or your victim calm.
Right. And the one thing that I noticed what they did do, the professional, they asked me, are you comfortable in helping this scenario?
Yes.
So in any situation that you guys go through, there might be a licensed or medical person there is going to call on you and they're going to ask you, are you comfortable engaging? So you have to really assess yourself. Are you ready for this? You know, because you're all in. You know, there's no like, I can't do this no more. You got to be there for that person. Like, you're a good Samaritan.
If you start CPR on somebody and you start doing chest compressions on an adult, you're in the game until somebody comes to relieve you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're going to be tired. So, but, you know, when you got adrenaline going, trust me, you'll go for a while before you can't go anymore. But yeah, keeping your victim calm is probably the biggest thing. Also, if you've got EMS on the phone and you're trying to get them on scene, your victim is unconscious, you can also check to see what their level of responsiveness is. So if they're awake, you can ask them questions. What's your name? Where are you? What day of the week is it? If they score positive, you know, yeah, got all three right, they're pretty good to go. But they're a little sketchy. When you report back to your EMS on the phone, we've got 2 out of 3 on the level of consciousness. They only could answer 1. You're going to ask them, who's the president? you know, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Let's say they're not conscious, but you need to know how severe is this injury. You're poking them. You're, hey, you
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
I mean, when you walk on the scene of an accident, you go, hey, you okay? You're
Right.
going to talk really loud.
Right.
If they don't respond, you don't see some kind of eye movement.
Right.
You're going to take your finger like that, your knuckle, just like that.
Mhm.
And you're going to put it right here in their chest plate, and you're going to push in and dig.
Okay, what does that do?
It elicits a good amount of pain. You can try it on somebody you don't like very much.
Right.
But if someone still has not had a spinal cord injury, and you push right here, they won't feel that if it's a neck injury down, right? That's going to tell you two things. I don't have a spinal injury, for one. I've got enough level of consciousness that I can elicit a pain response. This is a good sign, actually. So you can check that. Just
Okay.
a little chest noogie.
Okay.
That's what I call it, a chest
All
noogie.
right, pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
All right.
but yeah.
Well, Beck, I learned a lot today, and I hope you guys learned something new, and I hope you guys really think about this discussion today. Is like, what would you do in case there's someone collapse in front of me, in front of you? What would you do? You know, just I would think you just prepare your mind because you never know. You know,
It
things.
could be your aunt, your child.
Yeah, things
anybody.
happen, but the biggest thing is to stay calm. And the next biggest thing, call 911.
Call 911.
And, you know, if you think it's a serious scenario, call 911.
Yeah.
You know, get the extra help.
That way you can provide care, and you'll only be on the hook for a short distance of time before they get there to save you.
Absolutely. You know what? What's coming to me is like childbirth.
Yeah.
You're like doing a topic on, you know,
what would you do?
What would you do, right? That'd be another show.
Well, you've got my book right there next to you.
Yeah,
We
that'd
did
be
a
another
whole
that'd be
deal on
another show
childbirth.
like on childbirth, because a lot of times people have kids in a taxi trying to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
What would you do? Maybe that'd be a nice little segment. What would you do in these cases?
Yeah,
That'd be good.
What would you do?
What would you do?
Yeah, that'd be a crazy one. I guess I've never come upon that. I've had a few seizures.
Yeah.
And stuff, but not that.
But I hope you guys enjoy our topic today. We're on Facebook Live and we're on YouTube Live under Impact Water can't say it. Impact Water LLC 5353 on YouTube. You go there and subscribe to us. You see different events that we do there. So for announcement, we're geared for September the 10th. We're going to do a live show on food preparation.
Yeah, we're going to cook some food.
We're going to cook some food.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to be in the kitchen area. So definitely set your calendar for that for September the 10th.
September 10th.
10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time.
Yep.
So we're going to do some food prep.
We're going to push forward with that good healthy eating aspect that we keep talking about all the time.
Absolutely. So, and I think next week I got to run out of town. It's my anniversary, so I'll be gone. So we won't be live next week. So we have to catch up again. So I appreciate you guys tuning in for the Chris and Bec TV show. And look for greater things coming forward. We care for you guys. We love you guys.
If you have something that you want us to discuss.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you think maybe it's something you're knowledgeable on and you'd like to even be on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if you've got the knowledge to back it, we'll put you on the show and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
So, or if you just want us to talk about something that's near and dear in your heart, we'll do that too.
All right.
So, because why? Because if it's important to them...
It's important
to us too.
Say that again. I like that one. Say it again.
If it's important to you.
If it's important to you.
It's important to us.
It's important to us. All right. And
thank you so much
for watching.
Thank Jean and Angie and DeAndre. I can't see anybody else.
You ain't got your glasses on.
What does it say? DeAndre?
Yeah.
DeAndre.
All right.
Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us this morning. Appreciate
and Amy.
you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
And Amy.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Have a brilliant day. Be safe out there.
What do you think? We did a good show today?
I think it was good.
Yeah. So apologize again for the technical issues.
Cheers.
We're going to work on that. You want your coffee cup, go on to impactwaterllc.com. We ship it right to your doorstep with
That's
our
right.
signature on there.
Yep.
We also going to have pretty soon our poster of our picture on the website. You can also order that and have a signature from us as well.
Just a little token of our appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a great day. See ya.
See ya.
That one?
Yeah.